Good morning, everyone. My name is Arslan, and you are watching Proper Pariksha, the place where we strive for academic excellence in a simple and comprehensive manner. So, today we'll be completing Class 6 Mathematics as well as we'll be completing Class 6 Mathematics Chapter 12. So, it is a good news. Rejoice and celebrate. So without any further ado, let's start and complete class 6 mathematics. So I hope that you have been making notes and solving each and every question along with us. The link is in the description of the playlist. Check our videos out in case you have missed any of them and make the notes and solve each and every question as we also do not miss out on anything in our videos. So let's start. Question number 1. For comparing quantities of the same type, we commonly use the method of taking difference between the quantities. That is, it is saying that if you want to compare anything, for example, I have 100 rupees and the another person has 200 rupees, what I will do? I will do 200 minus 100 rupees and I will say that the other person has 100 rupees more than I have or than what I have. But we do what the best way is to come for comparing anything is by the use of ratio. But difference is also an acceptable and more and quite preferred way. Coming to question number 2. In many situations, a more meaningful comparison between quantities and just a reminder, such type of questions have been done in the topic of natural numbers, whole numbers, playing with numbers, integers, decimals, fraction, etc. In many situations, the more meaningful comparison between quantities is made by division, by using division, that is, by seeing how many times one quantity is to the other quantity. That is what a ratio is. The same example I will quote over here, like there are three people A, B, and C. One has 100 rupees in his pocket, another has 200, and the other one has 1000. So, what will be the comparison? We can say that person B has twice the amount as that of person A, and we can write that in the form of 1 is to 2. And second is that we can write that person B, person C has 10 times the amount as that of person A, and this will be the ratio. And the other way of writing is that the person C has 5 times that of the amount, 5 times the amount as that of person B. And how is that achieved? That is achieved by writing 200 is 200, 1000, 0 cancelled out, 2 dividing 10 by 5 times, so 1 is to 5, and that is the answer. That is what is mentioned over here, that the more meaningful comparison of quantities is by division, by seeing how many times one quantity is to other quantity. This method is known as the comparison by ratio. For example, Isha's weight is 25 kilo and her father's weight is 75 kilo. We can say Isha's father weighs 3 times that of the Isha's weight. And coming to the next point. For comparison by ratio, the two quantities must be in the same unit. Must be in the same unit. Not only the type of unit should be same, but also the unit must be same. For example, we cannot compare anything which is a different type, that is liter cannot be compared with kilogram, which cannot be compared with minutes, which cannot be compared with kilometer, and so on. So it must be the same type, along with it should also be same unit. That is, minute cannot be compared with second in a ratio form until and unless you convert minute into second or second into minute. Only then they can be written as x is to y, and minute will get cancelled out. So in a ratio, the units are cancelled out and therefore a ratio is unitless. For comparison, point number 3, reading again. For comparison by ratio, the two quantities must be in the same unit. If they are not, they should be expressed in the same unit before the ratio is taken. Point number 4, the same ratio may occur in different situations. Now comes the point which was also a homework if some videos back. that if the type of unit of two different ratios are different, then can we say them that they are in proportion if mathematically they are? For example, I say that I have a class of one boy and two girls, and I have um, let's say I have three mangoes, okay, and I have to divide them with uh, uh, one mango with each person. So mangoes will be distributed to boys is to girls in the ratio of 1 is to 2, where x is equal to 1. X is equal to 1. So when you say 1x, that is x plus 2x is equal to 3, you will get the value of x is equal to 1, and you will replace that and you will get the 1 is to 2. So this 1 is to 2 is related to persons, that is male or female, and this 1 is to 2 is related to mangoes, but they are equal to each other, and therefore they are in proportion to each other. This sign is known as proportion sign. Proportion to each other, this is known as the ratio sign, and it is denoted in word problems as 2 or is 2, and right side on right side, left side on left side. Point number 5 is that note that ratio 3 is to 2 is different from 2 is to 3. Definitely. If I say that this particular point is the extension of the point that we use the term respectively. The term respectively. For example, I say that A and B must get the mangoes which are so and so, like I can denote the quantity or quality, etc., in the ratio of 5 is to 7 respectively. So this means that A will get 5 because A is mentioned earlier and 5 is mentioned earlier, and B will get 7 as the it is mentioned later on, and B is also mentioned later on. So if I have the total amount of mangoes, I can calculate how much actual mangoes will A and B be getting. But the ratio, the times of or the ratio of the thing which will be distributed will be in the ratio of 5x and 7x. So that is why if I say 5 is to 7, that means 5 is to 7 for A is to B. And if I say 7 is to 5, either I will have to reverse A is to B into B is to A, or I will have to make another type of scenario, and the scenario and the question will be completely different. Coming to point number 6. A ratio may be treated as a fraction, thus the ratio 10 is to 3 may be treated as 10 upon 3. That is what we learn in the proportion part, that when we say that two ratios, ratio 1 is in proportion to ratio 2. What does this actually mean? All these things have been discussed in the previous video. This is a revision video. Ratio 1 is in proportion to ratio 2. Therefore, this means 1 is to 2 is in proportion to 2 is to 4. And this means that 1 is upon 2 is equal to 2 upon 4. And these are equivalent fractions. Ratios in proportion make the best equivalent fractions, and this is the simplest form, and this is its equivalent form. Two ratios are equivalent if the fractions corresponding to them are equivalent. So two ratios are equivalent is not that correct. Rather, we will say that two ratios are in proportion if the fractions corresponding to them are equivalent. Thus 3 is to 2 is equivalent to 6 is to 4, 12 is to 8. The same point is explained over here. Point number 6 is explained in point number 7. Point number 8. A ratio can be expressed in its lowest form. For example, again it is a made understood ratio 50 is to 15, treated as 50 upon 15, lowest form 50 upon 15 is equal to 10 upon 3, and so on. Point number 9. Four quantities are said to be in proportion if the ratio of the first and second is equal to the ratio of third and fourth. This is another extension or another part which we have understood of the word respectively. Respectively is very important because if I say that find if the following numbers are in proportion and I write 10, 15, 25, not 25, I will write 10 and 15 and I will write 4 and 6 and I will make commas over here. 10, 15, 4 and 6. So 10, 15, 4 and 6 will be written as 10 is to 15 and 4 is to 6. After simplification, we will write 2 is to 3 and 2 is to 3. And in the next step, we will replace this and with the sign of in proportion to. That is this one. Or we can write is equal to. Next thing, the order of terms in the proportion is important. This has already been discussed again. The unitary method is in which we first find the value of one unit. We have solved many questions with unitary method and I hope that you will not be having any confusion with unitary method. Only two things is to be made sure. First is that the thing which is to be found out will be on the RHS and the one which is the basis will be on the LHS, and after that thing which is given will be written in the same order and you will get the answer by following two steps, making it one and then making it the basis or whatever is the question demands. So with this we complete the class 6 mathematics chapter 12 and class 6 mathematics. So well done, rejoice. And I hope that our teaching methods have been up to the mark, and in case you find some suggestions for us or feedbacks, do comment in the comment section, and you can also praise us or support us in the comment section. So meet you in the next class. Goodbye.